Welcome in, everybody, and happy Friday. This is leading off right here on Fantasy Pros. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. That handsome young man is Dan Harris, and it's you when we're talking all things baseball today. And yes, we're a little early today on the program. And for those of you, again, we reminded you yesterday we're going early. This is why you subscribe, okay? You hit subscribe on Fantasy Pros MLB just in case these weird one-off things happen all throughout the summertime as we move on with the program. And you know exactly, oh, look, it's a little early today. Thank goodness I subscribed and clicked that notifications button on Fantasy Pros MLB. But Dan, it was a full day of afternoon baseball. We got a full weekend ahead of us, some shocking news, and a birthday boy hit a home run. So a lot to get to today.
Yeah, it was a great day yesterday. Actually, it was a lot of fun. A lot of really interesting pitching performances. Zach Wheeler, totally dominant. You got a couple of guys who is Madison Bumgarner like rosterable and interesting again. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. Let's get into it.
I got to tell you, I had a lot of Bumgarner shares. You know, late I picked them up a bunch of places, and I cut bait in mid-April. So I said, I'm done. I can't do this. No, I'm not going to go down this road. And I'm starting to wish I had listened to my smart friend who said, it's only April. But if only somebody had told me that I see every day. All right, let's get to a little 3 up and 3 down. Altuve goes yard in New York on his birthday. What a beautiful present for the baby boy, Jose Altuve. Wheeler, 3-hitter. Very nice outing from him. And if Wheeler and Nola continue to pitch this way, the Phillies are going to hang around for a long time. Nola was always going to be good. It's the inconsistencies of Wheeler sometimes that can kind of throw a wrench into things. But if they can get a third pitcher on the market somewhere or from within to really kind of emerge, F1's been pretty good. The Phillies are going to be a team that hang around there in the East. And speaking of the East, the Braves swept the Nats, and I have no idea what the Nats' plan is right now. They look all kinds of confused, and hopefully Soto will be in the lineup tonight against the Yankees, as they said. 3 down, Dan Harris, Pujols, DFA'd. Unbelievable. The Brewers get shut out. Get used to that phrase, boys and girls. The Brewers get shut out. This is going to be something, and we're going to talk about it today for MLB DFS. And Byron Buxton leaves with a hip strain. Goodness gracious, this is why we can't have nice things. But that Pujols news, Dan, when I saw that was just kind of, I don't know, last year the contract, just sort of shocking to me that they made that move.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want to do? You're the Angels, you're in contention, you are playing a guy who, how old is he actually?
He's 147 years old.
147. So at some point, even the greatest of them all are going to decline. Like he obviously... I think what they want to do is Walsh's defense is very good at first base. They probably want to do that. They need more production. It's interesting, though, what they're going to do with this, because obviously Joe Adell, he probably needs some more seasoning in the minors. I wonder if Taylor Ward, who was a guy who got called up, who was pretty interesting in the minors, maybe, who knows? But either way, for you and I, maybe we're older than our normal audience. Like Pujols was like a guy like in our probably baseball prime where we were really into it. Was one of the greatest players of all time. So it was definitely shocking when it came across the wire, but really it's pretty justified at this point, given where
it's justified, but still shocking. Last year, the deal, the guy already said, look, I'm done. I'm riding this out. But he's 41 years young. Just want to put that out there. And you talk about greatness. How's this for greatness? With St. Louis Cardinals over 1,705 games. Listen to this slash. 328, 420 on base, 617 slugging. That's over 1,700 games with the Cardinals. Unbelievable. Now with the Anaheim Angels, not nearly as good. 256, 311, 447. A serviceable player over 1,100 games. But this was the fear the Cardinals had, giving him this giant contract that was going to really put them in a bad spot for a very long time. No DH in the National League. And therefore, Pujols went away. And you know what? The Cardinals made the right decision. Pujols is a Hall of Fame lock. Again, who's the moron that doesn't vote for Albert Pujols? I don't know. Right. Bring him to my house. I will slap him around, because that's the same way I felt about Derek Jeter. Like, who's not voting for Derek Jeter? Like, what's wrong with you people? Anyway, hopefully.
Well, no, this is one of the things with baseball, though. Not now that we've gone on rants before, we've opened up the rant, lid there. I do think that this is obviously one of the problems where to get a guy like this, for the most part, a guy like Pujols, like you have to pay for much longer than the performance is going to be, because you have to get them on the team. The Tigers with Miguel Cabrera, the end of these contracts are going to be terrible, but you have to do it. So the way baseball's kind of set up is you're forced to pay for a player way more money past their prime, which kind of stinks. I will also make one note. I played Albert Pujols 2 times in DFS this year, and he homered both times. So for me, this is upsetting because I clearly was the Pujols whisperer, okay?
I just hope that Tony La Russa doesn't call up his old friend and say,
no.
hey, did you even think about this? Did this even cross your mind? Okay, this crossed my mind yesterday and it sent chills down my spine, which is Tony La Russa going, well, we've had a lot of injuries. Eloy's out and Robert's out, and Andrew Vaughn is young.
We can't play Andrew Vaughn. We can't play Andrew Vaughn.
Can't possibly do that. Chills
right.
up and down my spine. All right, let's not talk. And by the way, speaking of cranky old guys, I just want to give a shout out to at Skip Hennessy, aka Kevin Hennessy, who did the most amazing artwork yesterday of Stadler and Waldorf. Two of my favorites. I'm a huge Muppet guy. I was a Muppet Show child, and Dan Harris and myself. Again, it's now my Twitter, whatever, not my avatar, but the thing above, the banner, whatever the hell
whatever
it is.
that is.
Whatever the hell it is, I made it that because it's so glorious. Okay, let's talk about some of the other fine performances from yesterday. Garrett Cole, no win, but still get that ERA down to 1.6. Jordan Alvarez, 3 for 4, 2 dingers. He's starting to heat up. Woodruff, 11 Ks against the Phillies, but if you can't score runs, you can't get Ws. Bo Bichette, 3 for 4, 2 steals. He's up to 6 on the year. Taijuan Walker, who we keep talking about, Dan, and keep kind of remind everybody.
Yep.
This kid pitched really well last year. The Mets might have gotten themselves a huge bargain with this guy. 8 Ks against the Cardinals. The Cardinals basically handed that game to the Mets with all those walks. Tristan McKenzie bounced back, 5 Ks. He did walk 4 guys in that start, but a much better start than last outing. Pablo Lopez, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned, 6 Ks against the D-backs. And Andrew Heaney with a 10K performance. I feel like this is what Heaney does, right? Sometimes he has like this performance where you go, oh my goodness, look at Andrew Heaney. And then he has another one where you go, oh my God, look at Andrew Heaney. And that's the problem I have with him.
Yeah, I mean, look, the bottom line is if you're going to go on this Andrew Heaney experience, then you just got to leave him in there and just see what happens because they're going to be, it's like a roller coaster. They're going to be ups, they're going to be downs, but he does have really good stuff. And it always feels like he's on the verge of putting it together. I'm not like, ooh, this is a breakout or anything like that, but it's a reminder that he needs to be rostered pretty much in most places. And in a deeper league, he's a guy who you can kind of set it and forget it. A couple other things where we mentioned Bo Bichette, really interesting to me because I did think that there was some concern coming into the season. Not really for me. I mean, I kept looking for reasons to move him down a little bit, but I couldn't eventually get there because he's just Bo Bichette. He's too good that maybe he wouldn't run quite as much as he used to. He's hitting in front of, figured he would be hitting in front of Vladdy. The lineup's deeper. You don't need to manufacture as much, but with how much he's running and Simeon is running as well, I mean, he's going to provide enormous value. He's going to completely live up to his second round draft cost at this time. So those are a couple of the things that stuck out to me. Oh, Taijuan Walker too. I will mention. Yeah. I mean, as a Mets fan, Joe, I like the signing when we had it. It was one of these sort of like under the radar. He was at one time a huge prospect coming up. So now, he's doing it. I mean, he's got a 2.38 ERA, I believe. I don't know whether or not that's where he's going to be, but as a guy,
the guy he was last year, though, Dan.
Yeah,
I mean, this is not new. I mean, like if it came out of nowhere, but there were a dozen starts last year that were kind of like this from him.
It's fair. No, you're absolutely right. It was a shortened season, but if you did credit it, which really there was no reason not to with a guy like him because nothing really seemed all that out of whack. I mean, obviously his FIP and his xFIP were higher, but in the end, he kind of harnessed everything. He cut it, his walk rate was good. His walks are a little high this year. That's the one concern I have. He's walking almost 4 batters per 9. But for the most part, he's still pretty widely available. He is a guy who I think at this point, he's earned a spot that you don't have to match up him like outside of the really bad ones with Colorado or something like that in Colorado. You can just leave him in your lineup.
All right, let's talk about some guys that are hot. They're so hot right now. Giancarlo Stanton's so hot right now. 12-game hitting streak. I mean, he's got Patrick Corbin tonight, so I can only imagine it's going to be 13. Man. So let's just extend it now. The OPS over that time is 1469, 6 home runs. I mean, he's just on fire. And
would you sell high on him, Joe? Would you ride this wave? Because it's a question I'm getting a lot. And I listed him. We've got a featured pros thing coming out where we, experts from around the industry answer some questions. And I listed him as my sell high, but I want to make it clear, and I hate when we do this, right, with the sell high. It's like sell high if it's high, not just sell, because Giancarlo Stanton, especially if he DHs all year long, which it looks like he's going to, has a better than average chance, I guess, of staying healthy, hopefully. I mean, he's always the injury risk. But at this point, right, like where he is right now, what he's doing, you mentioned a 1469 OPS over his 12-game hitting streak. like, I don't know. I don't know what you could sell him for, but if you can really capitalize on it, I think I probably would, just given his injury history.
You could. His advantage as a DH, from that utility spot. If you've got a good offense and you've got Stanton, the only thing I can say to that is most likely you got Stanton at a discount this year. So I would just take that discount, and it's gonna come down. He can't sustain this 1469 OPS, but at the end of the year, he could be around 1,000. It's Stanton, so in that little ballpark for this guy, it's always about health. It's always that same thing. So if you're scared of Stanton, this is the peak time to get out, and I'm sure you could get a pretty decent haul. So yeah, again, don't sell high. There's a difference, like Dan's saying. Randall Grichuk 2 for 5 RBI against the A's, and Alex Reyes didn't pitch yesterday, but has yet to allow an earned run this season. Alex Reyes has always had the stuff, as they like to say in the business. A lot of love the stuff. The stuff is like the equivalent in the NFL of he's dynamic. He's a dynamic player. What does that mean? I don't know. He's got good stuff. What does that mean? I don't know. It's what I say when I'm not sure what to say or how to break down a player, and I'm just going to default to these stupid things that people say. And all of a sudden, I just turned into a Muppet. There you go. I just turned into an angry Muppet yet again. So Alex Reyes, I mean, this is not surprising. Once again, effectively wild guys. I talked about this yesterday on the show. They tend to make good closers. Reyes has been one of those kind of guys throughout his career. But this is a good spot for him, and I think it's very good that for all those Jordan Hicks truthers and Gallegos people, here it is, Alex Reyes at the end of the day, who looks like the stud in the ninth inning for the Cards.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned effectively wild. He does have 12 walks to 16 strikeouts. I mean, the walks are concerning. And again, we were watching him, I saw him close that game out against the Mets where for like a 12-pitch stretch, he had no idea where the ball was going. And he was just like, no, I'm not going to get there. And it sort of was teetering right on the edge of, oh boy. And again, with Hicks now out for a while because he's on the IL, it's really Giovanni, Gallegos. So if Gallegos can get in there and Reyes struggles for, several games, then I'd be a little concerned. So I think I probably would. Closers, by the way, I probably sell high on universally, right? Like everybody, I'm just like, it's a closer. It doesn't really matter. So I probably would. But I don't know. It's hard. Even with the walks, it's a little hard to doubt his performance.
All right, let's talk about some guys that are on the downside right now. You want to drop or keep. Nady Eovaldi, 6 earned yesterday against the freaking Tigers. His ERA is 4.6. Oh, so sick of everybody telling me this is the year of Nady Eovaldi. I'm so sick of this. I don't care if he throws 98. He throws it straight down the pipe. I know he doesn't like to walk anybody. He doesn't like to give up. But you know what he gives up? A lot of hits. That's what you give up. Miguel Sano, 0 for 5, 3 Ks. I told you, this is a disaster waiting to happen. I don't care. Just drop him. Jorge Soler, 1 for 4 yesterday. He's hitting $1.98. Soler is the one that's upsetting to me on this list because a couple years ago he thought the breakout was here, but I don't care. If there's somebody that can help you on the waiver wire at this point, you go up and pick them up and don't look back. That's what I say.
I love it. I think that is correct. And really, Joe, that's a switch in philosophy I've done a little bit over the last couple of years, which is I hold firm to my preseason evaluations pretty strongly. And I have for years. And I'm so reluctant to move on from a guy that I invested in and that I liked coming into the year. But no longer. I still have that line, but that line is much higher now than it otherwise would have been. Like it used to be probably like if I had somebody in the top 200 and I was confident that he would perform, I would hold on to him till the death. All right. I'd be like, no, it's coming around. But at this point, a guy like Eovaldi, like you, again, he was pitching really well to start. If you have somebody better, no problem cutting. Miguel Sano, certainly. Jorge Soler could go on a huge run. But like you, Joe, I think you're right. Like at this point, there's got to be a bunch of guys on your roster that you're willing to cycle through to plug some holes. And these guys all fall into that category.
Interesting bit of injury news I want to start with in the injury block today because Carrasco with the hamstring was transferred to the 60-day IL, which means you're not going to get him back to the end of May. So all that lies that we were fed, Dan, about him being ahead of schedule doesn't feel like ahead of schedule. Either that or maybe they're just thinking to themselves, look, let's give him time. We've had guys like Walker pitch well. We've had some other guys pitch. Look, you get Carrasco, you pitch Carrasco. This is upsetting. The Springer expected to be out for a long time, longer than the 10, that's for sure. Bryce Harper misses 4 straight game. We talked about Buxton before. And Enrique Hernandez left yesterday's game with what? Hamstring tightness. It must be May because it's time for lower body injuries. That's right. It's so predictable. So, I mean, what do you want to take away from this Carrasco business?
Joe, do you remember who it was where we were talking about selling high on a pitcher or something, and you said that you would trade him for Carrasco, and I was like worried about it because I don't like trading for injured guys. I don't remember who the pitcher, but there was somebody.
But I think it was somebody like Matthew Boyd. I actually think
something like that. Right? No, I probably would still do that. And Boyd is injured as well. So,
I'm in. No, let's go.
This is not good. And this is not, from what I can tell. And again, we're both Mets fans. We're pretty plugged into the beat writers. This is not a case of we just want to be cautious and careful. This is no big setback, nothing like that. He didn't re-tear something, but it is something where you are not progressing to the point that we assumed you would be progressing. Because remember, like a couple of days ago, this looked like, oh, this is imminent. He may come back, next week or something like that. So with a guy like this, remember, he was expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. Even if he comes back now, or as soon as he can, that's 11 weeks. I mean, this is something that you've got to worry about with a guy like Carrasco. So I'm not out there buying. I'm not selling. I'm not dumping. I mean, again, if he comes back at the end of May and he's healthy for the rest of the season, that's 4 probably stellar months that he's going to give you. So I'm okay with it. But this is a good lesson as to why it is so dangerous to trade for injured players. And it's why I get nervous when people ask me about what to do about Christian Yelich, because it's really hard to evaluate. It's really about your risk tolerance. But for me, I generally try to avoid trading for anybody whose timetable is uncertain.
The Yelich situation is a very difficult one, especially in keeper leagues. I told you, I think I just get out. I get out while I can, because now this is a trend. Once is an anomaly, twice is a trend. That's what I like to tell people. So I'm out. And I was a guy who took a long time to get to Yelich. Yeah. And now that I was not buying that 2-month 22 home runs from 2018. Like, I saw that and I went, well, that's a giant outlier. I'm not worried. I'm not buying in that. And I was wrong. And I said, hey, look, I was wrong. And in 2020, I said, look, good on him. He proved me wrong. He's an MVP. And here we go now with the injuries. And that's starting to be very frustrating, I'm sure, to everyone who has him in those dynasty formats. Now, when it comes to performance and craftsmanship, some people think of high-end cars. But instead, I want to talk about the Lawnmower 4.0. That's right. The Lawnmower 4.0 is the Ferrari of ball hair trimmers. It's here by Manscaped. And Manscaped.com is where you need to go to get your Lawnmower 4.0. Their advanced ceramic blade and skin-safe technology is so good that it almost seems that Manscaped worked for Elon Musk at one point in time and created this incredible 4.0 trimmer just for you and your man part. So what we want to do is give you one at 20% off and free shipping. Go to manscaped.com. Use the code LEADINGOFF and you can have the Lawnmower 4.0. It's sleek, it's two-toned, it's great. It's got automatic windows, it's got automatic door locks, and it's electric, so it saves the environment and also saves the environment from the hair that gets out of control all over your body. So, again, go to manscaped.com, 20% off and free shipping with the code LEADINGOFF right here, thanks to us, your friends over at Fantasy Pros. Now, Dan, we're going to look at the DFS slate tonight. It's a big slate, and I've got a real specific approach I want to throw out here for folks because there is some interesting value out there, and I want to start with the 14-game slate. I want to start with Trevor Rogers, my boy, who, it's can't get enough. Can't get enough of the Trevor Rogers. This is a shocking thing. We talked about sometimes DraftKings goes out late at night and gets hammered and comes back and, forgets to change things. Okay, Rogers is 10.4 on FanDuel. He's just 8.8 tonight. Against the Brewers. Yeah. The Brewers, 8.8. Lock it up. Big capital L. Lock it up. That's what I want. Carlos Rodon's out there. You got to pay through the nose for him. Flaherty's expensive. Urias, I love Urias. I'm a little worried about that Dodger team right now. They're scuffling just a tad. Give me Rogers. In fact, I think he's the best investment across the board tonight. That's where I'm going for cash games. And I'm telling you right now, 8.8 on DK. You want to go play DK tonight because that is a ridiculous value you're getting. You almost have to do a double take, don't you?
I did, actually. You're not incorrect in any way. I was looking at the FanDuel prices at there, and then I looked at DK and I was like, wait, what is this? What? You're right. They're drunk. And again, everything about this is good because it's the kind of the rare game, I guess, where the Marlins are favored. They're going up against Brent Suter. But that Milwaukee lineup, and you mentioned it here with Wheeler, and not to take away from anything Wheeler did yesterday. He pitched great. He has been pitching really well, relying on the slider. Love it. But that lineup right now, without Christian Yelich, you just pick on them.
Good, you can rattle it off for everybody. Go ahead. Let's have a good laugh.
You want the lineup?
Yeah, I want the lineup. I want you to do it. Do it.
All right. Colton Wong, Lorenzo Cain, Travis Shaw, Avisel Garcia, Luis Arraez, Jackie Bradley, Pablo Reyes, and Jacob Nottingham is the projected lineup tonight. That's that's not
all the Rogers. All right.
That's it.
Let's talk about the GPP arms. You've also got some great value tonight. Look, I love Boston as the good chalk tonight. Eduardo Rodriguez, 8.7 on FanDuel. He's 9 over on DK. You could definitely fly there. I think you can fly with Plesac over as well, but again, that's a little scary. You got Zach Gallen at a good value on both sides, 8-4 and 8-9 against the Mets. Mm-hmm. And your Urquidy for the Astros is not a big strikeout pitcher, but he is a good pitcher, and he is just 7.4, but I like him. I'll tell you right now, you could get him at 7.6 on DK and Rogers at 8.8. Give me that value in the pitching because there's no Cole, there's no Bieber tonight, there's no Darvish, right. None of those guys. So you get Rogers and Urquidy, I think you're in a good spot there, or even you can go Rogers and Urias or, Rogers and Flaherty. If you want to pay up a little bit, you can do that. I think Fultonevich is interesting on DK specifically, only at 6.82. Again, a huge value. If you're looking for offense tonight, looking at Texas, looking at Minnesota, even without Buxton possibly, Boston, Miami, and the White Sox. And then there's plenty of value out there as well. You got Anderson for the Marlins, who's been red hot. He's just 2.4. Garrett Cooper, also 2.2 for the Marlins. Actually, I like some of those Marlins guys. Here we go. We hit rock bottom. Francisco Lindor, 2.7 on FanDuel. Man. And our boy Garlic over in Minnesota, there's some value because if Buxton's out and Kirillov's out, you got Garlic at 2, you got Garver at 2.7, Solak at 2.9 on FanDuel, and then the White Sox guys over there as well. Andrew Vaughn at 2.1 and Madrigal at 2.7. Those guys are starting because of all the injuries. And then on DK, Madrigal's 3K, Vaughn's 2.9, Garlic 2.6. I just can't get enough of the Garlic,
Of course.
And Anderson at 3K. So some good value out there on the board. Any thoughts for you tonight on that DFS slate?
Yeah, I mean, I like Garlic, of course, because he'll probably bat fourth or right in the middle of that lineup.
Exactly.
So it's really hard to avoid him. But the one thing, by the way, tonight is there are weather concerns. I mean, you got to monitor that a lot. Again, Boston against Baltimore, there's some weather concerns. And again, in that Cleveland and Cincinnati game and in the Minnesota-Detroit game. So monitor that. I also don't mind trying to pick on the Astros against Ross Stripling, who I like, generally speaking, as a pitcher. But the Astros feel like they're starting to get their mojo back a little bit. I feel like the Yankee series kind of ignited something in them. Not like they dominated that series.
Be
but
the villain. Hey, man, be the villain.
Lean into it, man, right? Embrace what you have, lean into it, and be that guy. Sometimes that works for you. You're a wrestling fan, So
I am. They've gone full heel. It's great. And what's the old comic book adage too? It's like, if you're the hero, you live long enough to become the villain.
You either die the hero or you live long enough.
Well, here you go. Jose Altuve, you're the villain now. Embrace it. Be a jerk.
Do it, man. Do it. Absolutely.
Go full heel.
I wouldn't mind going again because I did like Stripling coming into the year, but right now, whether or not, I don't trust them whatsoever. So I wouldn't mind getting some Astros in there, and my home run call may come from that game. So that's kind of the only other thing I would be looking at. But you nailed it. A really good rundown for you, Joe.
Ross Stripling from the stretch, 2-2 count. Oh, what's that? Oh my God. Jose Altuve's got a chair. Oh my God, he's hit Ross Stripling. My God, look, there's blood everywhere. Bodies everywhere. All right, let's get to the home run call of the night. I'm going to go with Nelson Cruz. Hopefully he doesn't get rained out. Yep. It seems like light rain, but Tariq Skubal, he's got the highest barrel rate percentage given up for you nerds who like the barrel percentage stuff. Basically, guys are hitting him hard, and Nelson Cruz against left-handed pitching already is glorious. So I'm going to go with Cruz tonight. Where's your home run call?
That's a great call, by the way. Assuming that game does play, and it's fine.
It's light rain.
I get it. I just want everybody to be aware.
It's a light rain. It's a mist. It's more of a mist.
Just a mist. I expect a lot of homers in that game. I am going to go to the Astros, as I mentioned. Stripling has a 6.39 ERA right now, so I'm going to go with our guy. We've talked about him a couple times. I don't think we've ever hit on him yet, but Alex Bregman. I think they're going to embrace the villain. I'm going with Bregman tonight as my home run call.
I love it. Now, did we give away free stuff yet, or no? Are we giving it through the weekend? Monday. I want to give away an Acuna jersey by Monday.
All right, here's the deal. Okay, here's the deal.
Bros.
All right, this is it, man. We have emailed the winner multiple times. We have not heard back yet from him or her. And again, sometimes it goes to spam. We have reiterated, check your spam. Today, if we have not heard back from by the time this afternoon, I am redrawing the winner randomly. So check your email this weekend, because when we draw the winner, we are going to email that person. Check your email. We will announce it hopefully on Monday, assuming we get a response.
All right, let's hope so. In the meantime, we're trying to give away a Vlad Guerrero Jr. autographed baseball thanks to our friends at Pristine Auctions. So go to fantasypros.com/MLB contest. All you got to do, again, write a review. You just take a screenshot over at Apple Podcasts or CastBox. That's where you got to do the review. You go back over to fantasypros.com/MLB contest. You upload that screenshot. You fill out the form. You are entered to win the Vladdy baseball. And then you're entered automatically the rest of the year for all the other giveaways. How glorious is that? So go do that. Again, fantasypros.com/MLB contest. Do it right now after the show and just get in there. And then make sure when we do the drawing at the end of the month, you're checking your spam just in case it goes there, because we want to give you free stuff. This is crazy. All we want to do is give you free things. We're just givers. Dan and I are just givers. We're trying to give you information. We're trying to give you memorabilia. All we want to do is we give and we give and we give. And all we're asking for is a little response, maybe a nice 5-star review, maybe you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yeah. Again, these are simple things, and make sure you do subscribe to that Fantasy Pros MLB channel. And go to manscaped.com. Get that Lawnmower 4.0. Get 20% off. Get free shipping. Get a nice shorn you-know-what. Make sure you look glorious for the summer in the pool, and the chest hair is all taken care of, and the back hair is not existent anymore. The only thing I wish they would do, Lawnmower 5.0, they got to get like an extension so you could do the back. All right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's right. How come nobody does that? I know it's out there, but what the extension pole?
Go email him.
Dan's very tall.
After this. It's
true. So he needs the extension pole anyway, because it's a lot more mass.
Giant human.
I can't wait to be in the same room as you someday, because I'm like 5'7". I think you're like 6'10", and it's going to be great. It's going to be like Jose Altuve and Aaron Judge. I want to recreate that picture.
That's true. Everybody should know that even though Joe and I work together, of course, we work remotely. So although we talk every day and we see each other every day, we've never actually met in person, which, to my great chagrin. So.
Best friends forever. All right, so that'll do it for us. I'm sorry, Peanuts and Cracker Jacks, we didn't get to a ton of your questions today, but I promise you on Monday we will. Dan Harris has places to go and people to see, but we'll be back Monday to do it all again. So that'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For Dinger Dan Harris, I'm Joe Pisapia. We'll see you next time, kids.